Marcellus, get us rolling.
I'm going to go with theory 3, which is Dak settles for less. It's actually the only theory that umbrellas all the other theories, which is in every single negotiation, this kernel exists where they are hoping that you would take less. Look at Dak Prescott. Get beyond the numbers. Get beyond the circumstances. This is still a contract negotiation that won't be fueled until they are reaching their deadline, like all negotiations, like in all walks of life. So my example actually happened to me in 2000 as a free agent. I get on the phone, 12:01. My ego was pumped because I'm the first phone call, and I have several teams interested. San Diego Chargers were first. They said, meet us in San Diego in the morning. Got on my flight, landed, did all the BS handshakes and saw the meeting rooms and saw the weight room. Who cares? Who cares? I'm talking numbers, where the commas at. And then finally they get on the phone with my agent and they say, look, let him go on his next trip to Oakland. I'm like, what? And they send me to Oakland. I'm sitting there at the airport, Whitlock, and their first offer was $20 million. Me, I'm ready. My agent's like, no, we never take the first offer. Trust me. And that's a key word, trust. Because in this situation, that's where Dak Prescott is. He's in a trusting relationship with his agency and representation as he's going through this process. You fast forward 1.5 hours and 10 phone calls back and forth with my agent, my deal was done for $40 million. They doubled it within an hour and a half. That's not happening with Dak. It's been a year and a half. But trust me, what's happening behind the scenes is a conversation where the Cowboys want him to take less. Dak may already be satisfied at the number that they're offering, but his representation is like, you pay me for a reason. I'm going to get top dollar. I've been in that argument with my agent behind closed doors. I think Dak is in it now because the Cowboys want him to settle for less.
I agree. I'm going with number 3 as well. They want him to take less. And let me add to taking less as they want him to take less than what he wants. It's not less when you're looking at, you're already in the 30 million range of what they're talking. So, yeah, I mean, where it's at now, I think the market has spoken. The value in which it seems and appears to be very clear coming from Dallas is that they're not going to go to this mythical number that continues to circulate around as to what gets the deal done. And so it continues to circulate back to that number 3, because if you're not willing to take less, considering all things given, then you got to sign your tender, put your offer on the table. As Marcellus mentioned, that trust of your agent, then now you got to trust that your agent is going to handle their business as you're handling your business as a player. Because right now, Dak is in a very dangerous situation in terms of if he doesn't sign that tender and go ahead and just put the offer on the table and play, then now, you don't really know how this ends, especially with the addition of Dalton being brought into the fold.
Look, I can't dispute either one of you all taking theory number 3. I'll just ask, how do you jump over theory number 1? Because to me, it's clear the Cowboys don't believe Dak is a top quarterback. That's why they want him to take less than what he values himself at. If Dak Prescott were Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, this thing would have been over months ago, maybe a year ago. They would go, if I even throw Carson Wentz, if they thought he was Carson Wentz. There's probably a couple other guys I can't think of right now. But if they thought Dak was a top quarterback, they would overpay. But because they don't think he's a top quarterback and they're trying to hit a number that they're comfortable with once the salary cap elevates, that's why they're not signing Dak. That's why there's no deal done. The Cowboys don't believe he's a top quarterback. They think he's a guy they develop. They think he's a very good quarterback. They think he's great for the franchise in terms of leadership. Everybody likes him. He's their guy. He's Danny White, but he's not Roger Staubach. You pay Roger Staubach whatever he wants and whatever the market says the top quarterbacks get. You don't do that for Danny White. And so I just think it's crystal clear the way the Cowboys have behaved, and even had offered him $33, $34 million a year or whatever, but that's them trying to hit that moving target because they know Mahomes and some of these other guys are going to get 40. They don't believe Dak's a top quarterback. And there's nothing wrong with that. They don't believe that as an insult to Dak. They're just like, hey, man, we looked at the numbers. We looked at, you had a career year. We went 8-8 in your career year. If you don't have pieces around you, Dak, it doesn't work for you or us. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not Deshaun Watson. You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're not Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's been getting it done with inferior pieces on the offensive side for years. I just don't think the Cowboys think he's the top quarterback.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think they do think he's a top quarterback. That's why there was an offer for $33 million per year before that career year Dak Prescott had individually last year. Dak is one of 6 quarterbacks since 1950 to have 40-plus wins in his first 4 seasons. Dak is top 5 in career passing rating, so it's not just a fluke one-year career year. We're talking about Dak Prescott, who's a guy who's durable, has started all of his games in the NFL. Only him and Phillip Rivers could say that in the last 4 years. And Russell Wilson. These are durable players who are actually putting up numbers. And I'm glad you keep him in that conversation with a Russell Wilson and that good company, because I think Dak has played himself somewhere south of that conversation, but in that ballpark to get that type of money. But I don't want to, look, I ain't stupid now, but I don't want to overlook what's more important in this negotiation. Yeah, you're right. Hey, what's more important than does Dak qualify for the amount he's going to get is the fact that Dak has already put himself in that position. And the only thing that's really happening behind the scenes, I'm trying to help people, is that him and his agent, Todd France, are having a conversation of trust. When is enough enough? And that's the conversation I had with my own agency, and he's having it as well. They always start off throwing peanuts at you. I don't give a damn who you are. Their first offer is going to be peanuts in comparison to what it can be. And we saw this happen in The Last Dance with Scottie Pippen. They look at you. Oh, you're a 4th rounder, Dak. You've never been paid on the field. Let's just throw these pennies at you and see if you bite like Scottie Pippen had to because of his family dynamic and circumstances. Oh, Dak's not biting at that. Okay. Now let's use the fact that this is life-changing money no matter where we land, 33, 34, 40. So, Dak, come on and take it. But Todd France, being well-versed in these situations, won't let Dak commit until he gets full value. And that's where we are right now.
I think there's truth to what both of you guys are saying. I kind of lean a little bit more towards what Whit is saying. I would follow the bottom line to see the value. So again, if I'm Dak Prescott right now, I sign my tender, I put the offer on the table, and I play. Because as it stands right now, he is not going to win a holdout situation. This is not an Ezekiel Elliott leverage situation like last year. I don't believe that Dak has the leverage. Even with those stats that you rattled off, Marcellus, I just don't see there being enough to quantify giving him the amount of money that he's asking for. So with that being said, play out the tender. You're going to have to play out trying to get more and more value instead of going with signing the deal. It's just sign less, then sign the tender and just play unless you get the number that you want, and then test and see if the market says, side, like you said, other teams, see if other teams come after this season, the way you play, and offer you more money closer to what it is you're looking for.
Listen, I want you guys both to respond to this. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I've already know Marcelo's going to say this is silly what I'm going to say. I think Dak is going to regret the way they've handled this situation. I really do. I think the longer this goes on, the more dangerous it becomes for Dak. If they ever get to any kind of workout situations and Dak is holding out and Andy Dalton's in there running the team, working with Mike McCarthy, The thought of going this season with Andy Dalton is going to creep into people's minds. And then the other thing that I think is going to happen eventually, everybody keeps talking about Cam Newton and the New England Patriots. The longer this drags on, the more there's an opportunity for Cam Newton and the Dallas Cowboys. And so I really believe it. My prediction is, and look, I'm stepping out on a limb. I could be dead wrong, and Dak may next week sign for $40 million. But as of right now, I honestly believe Dak is going to regret not accepting the $33, $34 million they already offered him. His eyes are bigger than his stomach, and his agent has talked him into a land where his talents aren't going to justify his demands.
Whew. I think that is harsh to say, regret. But in my description of what's happening between Dak and the Cowboys, I didn't give you the emotional content. Dak is going to be in a situation that is unsettling. It's unnerving to be in that position. You start to question yourself because you're putting so much trust in someone else to do their job when you feel like you've already done your job. Now, I told you, my situation only lasted an hour and a half. And every single second of that hour and a half, I was sitting there thinking, is my agent going to do the right thing? Is he going to cost me millions of dollars that I already put work in for, and then he's going to all of a sudden undermine that? That's where Dak is right now. But regret? No, because Dak still has the ultimate say in this negotiation, as LaVar just pointed out. Go out there and ball on this franchise tag. Your number is not going to go down, because if he even just stays the same quarterback, not even improved, the same quarterback, because of the cap going up, because of the fact that he potentially can be a free agent in the open marketplace, he's going to get more money. But it is unsettling to not have that money already in the bank. I understand that point.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.